Goedemorgen. Het is zondag 30 oktober. En ik had gisteren, lag ik lekker te slapen. Toen werd ik wakker, moest ik plassen. Het was om 9:00, 9:05. Ik denk, ja, dan blijf ik maar wakker. Want de Jumbo die kwam tussen 9 en 10 uur. En ik ben net klaar op de wc. En ik hoorde dat iemand een krab wegzette. Ik denk, dat is het hem volgens mij. En gelijk gebeld. Ik denk, dat komt mooi uit. Ik gauw die deur open gedaan. Heb ik gevraagd of dat hij alles in de keuken wil zetten. Hij kwam ook met een krab aan. Wat een mooie voor betalen. Dus ik heb gevraagd of dat hij die krab leeg wilde laaien. Afrekenen. En klaar. Maar ik ben wel gelijk weer terug onder mijn pleitje gekropen. Want ik lag best lekker. Dus nou is de kaas warmer. Dan vind ik ze lekkerder. Ik heb een creditkaart gehad van PayPal. Die moet ik direct nog even activeren. Maar ik had meer zin in kaas. Ik had een klein beetje te veel magnetronmenu's besteld. Dus ik heb in de koelkast moeten passen en meten om het erin te krijgen.
En jij begon plomp voor over Kees Stip, de beste lijfvrouwsdichter van de vorige eeuw. En je zei, is er nog iets van die man? In reciprocating blade to create intricate curves. Woodworkers have used the scroll saw for decades because it's the best tool for making interior cutouts without an entry slot. Got it. Next up, Morrow is beveling or softening the edges of the panel for safety, wear resistance and aesthetics, then smoothing the surface with a rotary tool and sanding with medium grit sandpaper. The final curves on the panel are hand carved. This level of craftsmanship simply isn't available in mass-produced dash panels. It's good so far. The clear polyurethane finish Morrow is applying brings out the beauty in the wood and also contains UV absorbents that protect the wood from the sun's damaging rays. Look at that. A quality, handmade Italian piece of sculpture to go into our Italian sports car. This is a real authentic piece and it is going to add all the difference come sale time. Now, Mr. Fulani here is one of a kind, but I urge you to seek out those industries and trades in your area if you ever need to get a part done for your car like this. Right, now let's get this back to the workshop. Ciao! Ciao, mate.
Mike tells me that this car coughs and splutters and he suspects that there's a fuel issue. And actually, the fuel system on the Lancia is really basic. It's made up of only a handful of components. There's a pair of carburetors up front that injects fuel into the engine. There's a mechanical fuel pump on the side that draws the fuel in. There's a little filter here that captures any of the bad stuff. And of course there's a fuel line that runs underneath down the length of the car to the fuel tank. That's where I'm going to start. To get the fuel tank out, I'm first draining all of the petrol out of it. Then disconnecting the fuel supply and return lines to the motor, along with the filler tube. Lowering the car on the lift gives me access to the boot, where I'm peeling away old insulation, disconnecting the fuel gauge sender wiring and removing the 10 bolts around the tank's edge. A jack helps me raise the tank enough to pull it out. Actually, inside, it doesn't look bad at all. It's pretty clean. It's just the outside that's really tatty. I'm just going to give this a tidy up. I'm scraping old adhesive and insulation off the tank. Then priming and painting to prevent corrosion. Now what's left in the car is the fuel line from the pump on the side of the block down to the fuel tank. So what I'm going to do is remove this air box so I can get access to the pump. I suspect debris is partially blocking the fuel line and I need to clean it out. So I'm first pulling the line off the engine. And what I want to do now is I'm going to blow air down it to make sure that that whole line all the way to the tank is completely clear. Now I'm happy that that line is clear. I'm going to refill it to the pump. I'm bolting the fuel tank back in and connecting the fuel gauge sender wiring. Getting the car up in the air lets me put the filler and fuel lines back on, along with the drain pipe. Whoever fitted this system before put the fuel filter right here above the oil filter, and in fairness, that's pretty inconvenient. If you want to do an oil change or change the oil filter, it's going to get in the way. So I'm going to relocate it. I'm actually going to put it down here, closer to the pump. It tucks it out of the way, it tidies up the engine bay, but at the same time, it still allows the owner to get access to it. And that's the great thing about these fuel filters, is they're clear. You can see if there's any build-up of grime or dirt in there. Now, they're also directional. If you look on the side here, there's a tiny little arrow. That indicates the flow of fuel. Fit it the wrong way round and it won't be effective. I'm installing a new fuel supply line and filter. This clear filter allows me to see if there's any build-up of dirt and grime inside. It's just a $6 part, so when it gets mucky, throw it out and get a fresh one. A splash of petrol should make this Lancia ready to run. I first want to check if the mechanical fuel pump on the Lancia is working effectively. And to do that, I'm going to use a pressure gauge. I'm simply going to plug in to one end of the fuel pump here, up to the carburetors. Now I just want to start her up. Now I'm looking for anything over 3.5 psi. And this is great news. 6 psi. That's more than enough pressure to have this engine. Now that already sounds better. Now that's how a Lancia V4 should sound. And that's because the fuel system is now completely flushed out from the fuel tank to the carburetors. And on top of that, it's now back to original specification. Some fine tuning, and that's the job done.
Because we're giving this car a nod to its rally heritage, I even went out and found the proper fog lamps.
Where are the brackets?
Formule 1 is Grand Prix Radio.
Is Ted Bundy slim genoeg?
He was handsome and articulate. People liked him.
He is the epitome of the Hollywood psychopath.
Om onze experts te misleiden.
5 rapid blokes, this is a lie.
He gives 2 commands.
Let's go.
He can't do that. This is the arrogance of the man.
This camera checks to see if he's getting away with it.
Ted Bundy, a faking in special. Vanavond 20:30 bij Discovery.
Met Praxis Plus krijg je 10% korting op alles om je huis te verduurzamen.
Hoe je dat, zus?
Door nu in actie te komen, bespaar je jarenlang op je energie.
Dus dan besparen we over 10 jaar nog steeds geld.
Zeker weten, zus. En de topstipje zit er ook nog goed op, hè?
En dus ook over 25 jaar.
Inderdaad. Door te verduurzamen blijf je eindeloos besparen.
Ja.
Goed. Ik ben even naar Praxis. Later. Dus kom nu in actie en blijf je jaren besparen. Voor de makers, Praxis.
Tja, die online haters, wat moet je ermee? Je ziet ze zelfs in een kattencafé, dus... Gebruik je data goed, het is niet te laat. Spread love, maar ze online haters. Maak het internet zoals het used to be. A lovely place for you and me. Verspreid die positiviteit.
Sier aan mijn tanden.
Met Praxis Plus krijg je nu 15% korting op een artikel naar keuze. Dus ook op producten waarmee je je huis kan verduurzamen. Voor de makers, Praxis. Het grootste private lease aanbod van Nederland vind je altijd en overal met de calculator. Ook elektrisch, ja. Zelf samenstellen, super makkelijk.
Geef kracht aan iets bijzonders. Altijd en overal stroom met vehicle device. De nieuwe Kia Niro EV.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Lekker leasen
equipment that inspires.
Creëer meer tijd voor jezelf. Met Iglo, onze heerlijke kant-en-klare maaltijden vol verse ingrediënten. Iglo Ping en Klaar. Te vinden in het vriesvak.
Bestel de NC Premium Juices and Shots nu exclusief bij Flink. Flink bezorgt al je boodschappen binnen minuten.
Probeer nu ook onze nieuwe Iglo Ping en Klaar Bami en Nasi. Met heerlijke kipsaté.
De autoverzekering van Inshared is als beste getest. Een topautoverzekering en een lage premie. Dat is goed voor uw auto en goed voor uw portemonnee. Check uw premie op inshared.nl. Inshared. We all benefit.
Via XL. Trendy meubels voor ontzettend lage prijzen. En gratis thuisbezorgd. Via XL.nl. Groots leven voor weinig.
Nederland is altijd in beweging. Een land dat veilig wil blijven. Investeert in duurzaamheid, digitalisering, nog gezonder wil worden. En daar kun jij ook aan meewerken. Het verschil in maken. Elke dag weer. Ons land in jouw handen. Vind jouw baan op werkenvoornederland.nl.
Hey Justine, wist je dat je in deze dure tijden 15% korting krijgt? No. Ja, en de autoverzekering van Allianz Direct. En dat is ook nog eens de beste keuze volgens de Nintendo-affaire. Flink sparen op de beste autoverzekering van het jaar. That's so now. Allianz Direct.
Blijf voor met Polio.
Reizen de pan uit, ook voor je energie. Bespaar snel met zonnepanelen van Hallo-stroom. Geen investering, direct besparen. Hallo-stroom, duurzaam in jouw voordeel.
Ontdek Oreo Crunchies. Mini koekjes, actie plezier.
Wil je ook zonnepanelen die passen bij jou? Ga naar Hallo-stroom, duurzaam in jouw voordeel.
Archaeologists have uncovered the largest ancient city ever discovered in Egypt.
De discovery of the tombs Tutankhamun Semitic.
It's the most astonishing find of the 20th century. Archaeology Heaven. 4 bij ons, de 100ste verjaardag van de ontdekking van het graf van Tutankhamun. Nieuw, Tootmania. Vanaf 6 november bij Discovery.
Formule 1 is Grand Prix Radio.
The more time I spend with this car, the more I think we should keep this rally theme. And the good news is Mike agrees. So while he's on the road sorting out some parts, I'm going to get rid of these awful bumpers. Because the rally car doesn't have them.
Right, bump in. I've just got back from a proper cars run. Come and have a look at all this stuff that I've got for us. I think you're going to be rather happy.
You've been spending some money.
Yeah, I've been playing havoc with our credit card, but before I tell you everything that I've got, tell me how we're getting on with the car.
Right, well, you know when you drove it, it kind of stalled and stuttered when you put your foot to the floor.
Yeah.
Well, I've cleaned out the fuel tank, cleaned out the fuel lines, now it runs on the button.
It sounds like you've nailed it. So, look at what I've been doing. Because we're giving this car a nod to its rally heritage, I even went out and found the proper fog lamps. These go on the car down here. They got the yellow tint in them and everything. They look incredible.
Where are the brackets?
No, I never got the brackets, but you can make the brackets, they're going to be easy. But I've got everything else. I've got loads of little trim parts that are going to go on the car. I've got a replaceable steering wheel, a dash pad. And you remember that fake, horrible wooden dashboard that the car had?
Yeah, rubbish.
Well, I spent an afternoon with a guy, and me and him crafted this.
Yeah, that is lovely.
Made of proper timber as well. That's a bit of quality inside the car. All you've got to do is button it all up, finish it, and then you can get this car sent down the road.
Yeah, before you go. Wheels.
I know where you're going with this, and you are correct. Yeah, let me take the wheels with me.
Now, already I prefer the car with a bumper off. It looks really old school, and it's exactly the way the rally cars used to be. And when I add these, it's really going to finish this front end off. The problem is Mike didn't go and get me a set of brackets. In fact, he's asked me to make my own. But I noticed when I took the bumper off, the bumper irons are going to be a perfect starting point to mount the fog lights. So I'm going to take these off and save myself a bit of time. Detaching these bumper mounts is the first step in fabricating custom brackets for the fog lamps. I need to add metal to these bumper irons. I'm cutting lengths of 1/4 inch steel, tracing the shape onto cardboard, transferring the shape onto the pieces, and cutting them out. This helps knock off any rough edges. I'm welding the gussets onto the bumper irons and grinding the surfaces smooth. I'm also going to recycle and use the indicators that were in the old bumper. Now I've seen these Fulvias before where the indicators are taken and they're put out here on a bracket, but I think that looks really clumsy. So I reckon if I open up this indicator hole just a tiny bit, there's enough meat on this aluminium casing for me to grind it out so it fits the contour of the body, and then I can sink it in flush. It's going to be much better, really crisp, really good. I'm enlarging the existing holes with an air reciprocating saw, then milling the aluminium housing on the indicator so it fits nice and flush. I'm using a pneumatic grinder and a dab of touch-up paint to fit metal trim rings into the hand-stamped holes on the Fulvia's valance. There's a reason why the bonnets on the rally cars were painted black, and it's got nothing to do with looks. If you imagine yourself as a rally driver on a rally stage and the sun is beating down on the bonnet of a shiny red car, the glare from the sun is going to hit you in the eyes. So what Lancia did is they painted their bonnets satin black, this flat colour, because it's the best colour to absorb the sunlight. But I did a bit of research, and Lancia didn't stop there. They actually also painted the scuttle and the top of the wing. I'm just going to mask up along that swage line, turn the corner here, like so, and then stop along the swage line of the panel. Now if I prep and paint this part black as well, that would be a proper job. We're getting to the home stretch of our 1972 Lancia Fulvia. In a final nod to the car's racing heritage, I'm prepping the bonnet and wings and respraying them matte black. It's a small job that involves just a few panels. I'm tackling it myself. Now that the car's out of the paint booth, I'm focusing on the final interior details. This wooden dash makes all the difference. A nice new rubber dash top, and then the finishing touch, the wooden steering wheel. You see, now it feels like an Italian sports car. I think it's fair to say that Italian cars have a bit of an unfair reputation. They're expensive and they're hard to work on. But the truth is, from day one, this car has been nothing but a privilege. I've enjoyed every single moment. And I can't wait to see her on the road. All I'm waiting for now is for Mike to hurry up with the wheels. Always feels like I'm chasing him.
The 1972 Lancia Fulvia Series 2 is a rally-proven front-wheel drive V4-powered Italian wonder that's an exceedingly rare find in the US. The scarcity translates into premium prices for clean and correct Fulvias today. We paid $9,500 for the car. CV joints and seals were $1,000. Heater matrix was $75. We spent $105 rectifying the fuel problem. A real wooden dash, pad, steering wheel, and other trim bits, $975. Fog lamps were $650. Rally-inspired paint tacked on an additional $800. Refinishing the wheels cost $1,000. With 21 man-hours invested, that brings the total to $14,105, just north of 9,800 British pounds. But I think we can do really well on this car. Look at this! I've got to tell you, that's one of the prettiest sights I've ever seen, and incredibly pretty up here as well.
Well, it's an Italian sports car. It's built to climb windy mountain roads, so I figured, what better place to test it?
Yeah, it does look like a little Italian rally stage, and quite apt for our nice Fulvia. Taking the bumpers off, got the front.
Right, well, I used your spotlights. There weren't any brackets, so I made some. All these little vents, I put little escutcheons in. Notice what I did with the indicators?
Yeah, they were amber before, they're much nicer clear, and I love what we've done with the black paint here because having it across some of the wings is much more true to the original cars.
Yeah, and top choice, gold wheels.
It is a nod to this car's rally heritage. How about all the mechanicals? They done?
Oh, this car's ready to go.
Good, I'm glad you said that, because I'm driving today.
Oh, you're
no
driving.
arguments.
All right, keep it on the black stuff.
Easy. Italiano, hey! Bellissimo! This car is born to be on roads like this. I love the way it just turns in and it feels kind of instant. What have you done to it?
Well, first of all, stay on the road. That would be helpful. But yeah, the driving experience of this car is going to be transformed. There's no longer leave up front, as you know. Drop the drive shafts on to change the inner and outer CV joints. Sort out the oil leak as well. Recondition and put it back in. So that turn from the engine to the wheels is now going to be really instant. And on top of that, you just drop the clutch and give it a
Well,
little
I can
bit.
feel it. I can feel it instantly. As soon as I breathe on the accelerator, this car just wants to leap to the next corner.
When you bought the car, it had a little bit of a lag. And that's because the fuel tank and the carburetors, the whole system was pretty clogged up. So I've taken it apart, given it a nice big clean out. The only new bits I use were a new filter and some new hose. So it costs a lot more.
But have you ever seen your mate so happy? Look at me. This is just absolutely epic. This road is fantastic. This car is born to be on this road. This car is loving it. This one looks epic on the outside, thanks to you. But it also looks great on the inside.
So having the plastic dash in an Italian sports car was criminal. This has made all the difference. So the dash isn't the only new thing on here. Do you remember this little heater gauge? You can try now.
Oh, do you know it's probably never even worked like that when this car was new.
You don't need it because it's a warm day. But if I put it on, fan on, hot, feel that.
Oh yeah, I can feel it instantly. Yeah, turn it on, turn it off. Turn it off, don't need that. This car's ready. It's ready for its new owner. It's ready to face its future. And it's going to be a very, very happy future. The market for this is really small, but it's so strong. People don't only like a Lancia Fulvia, they love a Lancia Fulvia. They love these cars. A car like this at the moment is a hot ticket, and I've had many people trying to beat a path to my door. But this guy behind me, Adan, he is first here. Now, Adan is a broker. This is a guy who reckons he can take my car and sell it for a profit. That's how hot ticket this is. Let's see if I can broker a deal with this broker. Adan.
Hey, how are you?
Right, so you've been all over this car. Do you like what we've done with it?
I love it. I love it.
Tell me what you like about it.
The look, the drive, and my test drive I noticed that it was very smooth. That steering wheel is gorgeous, the wood dash that it has also, the feeling, the sound, everything about it I like it.
Just listening to you describe my own car back to me made me want to buy it. Okay, I want $35,000 for it.
Are you open for offers?
Make it a decent offer.
You know I gotta make some profit also.
Of course, yeah.
Will you consider a lower offer at 30?
I'm going to be a little bit tough with you. I'm going to say $34,000.
Will you go 32.5?
Make it 33, and the car's
It's a
yours.
deal. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. 33 it is then.
What a car and what a deal. We were right to pay tribute to this car's rally heritage and really knock it out of the park. And it just goes to prove if you find the right car, do the right amount of jobs and pay tribute to that car's past, well, you're about to make a decent profit. If you want to see more iconic cars like this being turned around in our workshop, then join us again soon on Wheeler Dealers. Ta-ra.
Dit was het. Bedankt voor het kijken. Bye bye. Houdoe.